So we are back this afternoon to photograph the birch trees before we lose the light in the evening. The thing is, today was all about really just getting out with a good friend of mine, Luke, scouting some areas and going shooting some pictures. And then the birch trees were just so glorious when we came down to Minsmere that we had to stop for a little while. After breakfast, we headed over to the Island Mere to check out, see, for the Bitterns and stuff like that have been reported loads, but there wasn't too much about. And actually, when we got down into the photography hide, and we stayed there for a couple of hours. The light was really bad, really quite harsh, and also the kind of landscape out the front is just a bit dull at the minute. It's not really what I want, but it really is a scouting trip for coming back to photograph Bitterns, probably in April when they're out and moving across the kind of lagoons there, so we'll definitely be back for that. But with photography, you've got to make the most of what's on offer on today, and with a gorgeous colour in the sky, all this lovely golds and oranges and stuff like that, it's just silly not to come back and just spend a lot of time concentrated and photographing the birch trees. So I'm going to get about and shoot some different stuff and hopefully find some nice images. But the whole concept behind this is to find a different shot. I've already got a nice one that got this morning in the puddle that might be even better now because the lights move around a little bit. So I'm going to go and check that out. But also I'm looking for reflections, I'm looking for, patterns, textures, anything abstract like that, just to make something a bit different rather than just a standard tree image. So I'm going to crack on and look for some different shots and show you how I go about that. But with the colour that is around today, it would just be silly not to come back and photograph this. So let's go. Currently I'm just looking for some lovely birches over the top of me, the canopy above, and when you look up there's so many beautiful golden leaves to try and pick out. So what I'm looking for is trees that lead in and a canopy where some of it is brighter than the rest, because it means that I can underexpose slightly to exaggerate one section and add a bit of interest. That looks really cool, but it all looks great. But trying to underexpose so you get really dark black lines and then the gold as well is what I'm looking for. But God, it really is a gorgeous time of year. So we found a nice pile of timber down behind me. Luke's just photographing it here, and the shavings are really good on the side, all the kind of bark's peeling off, and it's making some really nice images. I'm moving in close with the 10-20 that has a 0.2 meter close focus, 0.22 meter close focus. So I'm kind of exaggerating the foreground using the wide angle with the background of the birch trees behind. Kind of a conservation image, looking at the cutting of birch forest for planning rejuvenation of a habitat. But it's really nice, some really interesting shapes and forms. Probably going to go in close as well and just do some close-up kind of texture, detail shots as well. And these are all good to have in the bag when you shoot a lot of stuff for conservation and things like that. You've also got to think about the habitat shot. You can't just always go after those big species and stuff like that. You've got to have the story images. And if I'm producing something where a birch habitat is a key thing, maybe I'm talking about great spotted woodpeckers or anything like that, then these are really good images to also have in the bag because it builds up that portfolio. And of course, if you want to put stuff out and you want it to have more meaning, having the story images behind it and talking about habitat regeneration and stuff like that is far cooler in your wildlife photography. So always think about that when you're out shooting. So we're going to crack on with this, and then I think we might head down there and see what we can find. So I've just ventured into more birch trees, and yet again there's more photographic opportunity. There's such lovely trees, these, and again really important. You can see like on this tree here, this old stump, it's got some lovely fungi on it and stuff like that, and this whole area is just brilliant for wildlife. And so what I'm trying to do is build up a portfolio of pictures that showcase the kind of birch environment. So, you know, of course, looking for fly agaric, anything like that would be great. Probably a bit late in the season now, but there are some great bracket fungi that I'm going to go and take some pictures of in a minute. But this tree is really attracting me in the foreground here. Lovely shape to it. So I'm going to get in close there and use that as a leading line with the background of the forest behind for some interesting shots. So I found a lovely piece of bracket fungi on this birch tree here, and of course what I want to get is a nice shot from underneath that shows the canopy above for a really nice kind of habitat image. Now the 10 to 20 is perfect for that because I can get really close, but of course if I wish to shoot straight up, all I'm going to get is the dark underside of my fungi, and that's why of course I've got to use my flash gun. I'm using it at -2/3 underexposure just because I just want a little pop of flash that's just going to fill in. I don't want it to look too flashy, I don't want it to look fake and everything like that. And that's a key thing when you're working with flash and nature subjects. You've got to keep it really minimal to make it look really nice. And so I'm using the diffuser on top as well because I need to bounce it out to a 20mm focal length and simply lie underneath, get in position and shoot away, and it's really starting to look quite nice. Right, so I've been shooting the 85 for the last half an hour, just doing some shallow depth of field images with the tree trunks, just blurring out the background, foreground, stuff like that, to pick out a single bit of the forest. And they've come out quite nicely, getting a few nice shots, but I must admit I much prefer my wide angle images. You know, the ones with the fungi in front and stuff like that, just to me are a far more pleasing image to my eye. The canopy shots as well with the wonderful gold of the birch has just been lovely. But now that the sun's going down, we've probably got half an hour more to shoot, so I'm going to crack on with that. And that's pretty much it for today. I will catch you again soon with more wildlife photography content. I'll bring you along on my next shoot, but for now me and Luke are going to head out, take some more pictures and probably go and get some dinner. So I'll catch you later. Subscribe for more videos and I'll see you soon.